This tutorial is going to go over just a few more advanced features in CorelDRAW. I've started with this design of the Blue Devils, and what I want to do is to add some flames behind him just to finish the design. There's a few ways that I can do that, and I'm going to go over all of those. Right underneath of your magnifying glass, there's a few options here. If you click and hold down, it'll show you them. We have the freehand, the Bezier, artistic media, and the pen. I'm going to go over these. Let's start with the pen. You can make a custom shape using the pen tool. If you click and click, it's going to give you straight lines. If you click and hold and drag, it'll allow you to make curved lines. So we can make some curved flames here. Pretty quickly. Before I take too much time to try to make flames with that, let me show you the other options as well. We have the artistic media tool, which is kind of like a paintbrush where you can just paint your design. Like so. And then you can actually color this. And we can send it to the back by hitting Shift Page Down. And then also, if you want to color this center area, you're just going to go to Arrange, Break Apart, and then click on the line here, and you can delete that. And then click on the orange flame area, and then break apart again. And then you can take the big area, Shift Page Down to send it to the back, and then you can add a color to the center area, whatever color you'd like. So that's another way to do it. The next tool after the artistic media is the Bezier tool. This tool works a lot like the pen tool, which allows you to make some curved lines. Just clicking and dragging does this. It's basically just another version of the pen tool. And then the last one I want to show you, which I tend to use the most, is called the freehand tool. And for this one, just go ahead and click and drag until you're done creating the shape. So I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to try to make some flame looking things to go around my Blue Devil. They don't have to be perfect because we can adjust them later. And you want to go to the end until you see this broken arrow, and then let go. That makes sure that it's closed off. And then we can throw a color on this. And then I'm going to arrange to the back of the page. And one more thing, I'm going to take the outline off. And I have some pretty neat looking custom flames. And then I can use my shape tool here to go in here and adjust these nodes if they look a little off to me, if one of the flames looks a little thin. Until I get the design exactly how I like it. That looks pretty good. So that's a way to make custom flames like that. The other thing I want to go over is how to use a couple tools to edit an image. So suppose that we don't want the tail on this blue devil. There's a few ways that we can cut that tail off of him. All those options are found underneath of the shape tool. The first thing we can do is we're going to make sure he's ungrouped, and then we can click on the two blue areas on top here and just press delete on the keyboard to get rid of them. And then we're going to use the shape tool, the second tool here, and we're going to click and drag a square to highlight those nodes on the tail. And then we're going to hold down Shift on our keyboard. And you want to make sure that you don't accidentally select anything else but the tail. And I'm just clicking and dragging squares around these nodes. I can also just hold down Shift and select each node individually. And then once I have them all selected of the tail, I'm going to press delete on my keyboard. And then I'm left with this odd shape, but I can take this and drag it. I can use the Beziers, which are those stick-like appendages coming from each node. I can use those to adjust it. So I'm just going to curve this until I get it to a point where it kind of goes along the side of the body better. And so that's one way to delete the tail, by adjusting the nodes themselves. Let me show you a couple other ways to delete that tail. I'm going to just hit Control Z until I get back to where I was before. And again, you want to make sure that he's ungrouped. And then the next tool underneath the shape tool that you might want to use is actually for X4. They moved it underneath the next tool, the crop tool. There's the knife tool. And for the knife tool, we're going to cut the tail off using this knife. And we're going to go from one side of the black to the other side of the black. And you see how when I hover over the edge of the black, it shows the knife tool directly vertical instead of at an angle. You're going to go from vertical, click and hold until it goes vertical on this side. And you want to make sure to select this first. So just like this. And then you can go back to your pick tool and you can just click on this tail, delete it, click the blue parts of the tail and delete those as well. And then just like before, going into your shape tool, you can adjust the couple nodes that were left. So that's a second way that you can get rid of that tail or whatever it is in your picture that you want to get rid of that's attached to an image. Let me go back one more time. Let me show you another way to do it. We're going to take the freehand tool that we used before, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a freehand shape that goes across the black from one side to the other. So I'm going to start over here, I'm going to click and drag across, come back across, and then connect with the end. Then I'm going to use my shape tool to go in here, maybe color it just so I can see what I'm doing, and adjust these just a little bit so that the edge of the body is going to look right. And then all I have to do is click on the pick tool and then click on the freehand shape we've made, hold down Shift, and then click on the black silhouette part of the devil. And with both of those selected, I just press the trim button and then I click off to the side, click on the freehand shape, delete it, and I'm left with this tail that's kind of floating off to the side. But it's still attached to the body, so what I have to do is select the black, go to Arrange, Break Curve Apart, and then I can select the tail separately and delete all the pieces to it. So those are the main ways that you can edit an image that you want to cut part of it off of something else. And that's pretty much it for any advanced features in Corel.